Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The brief I've been given to talk about today is shrimp aquaculture in update. If you look at shrimp aquaculture at this juncture, it's in a lot of trouble, There are uncertainties at every level. There are uncertainties at the farming. Host of diseases are wreaking havoc. There are uncertainties with logistics because of the war and all that. And the markets also don't look to be all that good at this point of time. So I would say there are uncertainties galore. Let me get cracking with my presentation. Let us have a look at the shrimp export journey over the last 1 decade. It has been growing continuously. It is almost like a straight line passing through the origin, but for the dip in 2021 due to COVID. During 2021, logistics have been upended at the global level as well as within the country. That was the year we have gone down. Otherwise, it is continuously growing. And the last year, 24-25, we have done export of 746,000, highest ever then. This year, we have crossed that, 792,000, highest ever again, But if you look at the preceding years, 2 years, it has gone down a little bit. The year 22-23, we have gone down by 2.3%, and the next year, we have gone up by 0.7%. A small change those 2 years, but for that and the COVID year, if you look at the trajectory, it's been going upwards. That was the case last decade also. Vannamei got introduced in 2009. Around that time, our production used to hover around 100,000 tons or so, 1 lakh tons. But it has grown up ever since the introduction of vannamei. So it's growing. But is it going to continue? We will try to understand in the subsequent slides. Volume and value, if you look at, this year, we have done highest ever. But if you look at the value in terms of US dollars, it's not the highest. In rupee terms, of course, it's the highest. We have touched about 50,000 crores because of the rupee depreciation. We could see that kind of a figure. But the highest ever was in 21-22. That's about $5.82 billion. The quantity was less almost by 70,000 tons compared to this year, but the value was higher. Because of the global shrimp prices, that was one reason. And the other reason was the average size of harvest was much higher during that year compared to this year. So if you do higher volume, it's going to give highest value. Is not the case. That could be the case, but not always. And for India, if you look at, that's not the case, definitely. This year the value is not higher. This value is included of tariff also, 50% tariff for a period of 5 months or so, when US levied 50% reciprocal tariff. So that way, if you look at, the value is much lower this year. And state-wise performance, if you see, we have produced about close to 1.25 million. We've exported 7.92 lakhs. And if you look at it in terms of live weight, it could be about 12.5 lakh tons. I assume that 7% of our production has gone head-on, 93% headless, peeled, all put together. I've taken 67% yield for the headless material, and of course for the head-on 100%. So it is coming to about 70% yield. So if you calculate 100% to convert into the live weight, that 7,92,000 tons becomes 12.5 lakh tons. And Andhra has produced close to 1 million tons. And Odisha is one state where it was growing. It is coming close to about 1 lakh tons. Earlier it used to be about 50,000-60,000 tons. That is one state where the production is growing. Rest of the states, it's more or less status quo. Be it Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, other parts of the country, status quo is being maintained. Andhra definitely it has grown, and Odisha is the other state where it has grown. Bengal, a little growth is there, but the majority of the production is coming from the state of Andhra Pradesh, close to 1 million tons. Farming trends, if you see, 160,000 hectares of culture area is there with vannamei still. About 17,000 hectares tiger is being cultured. These 17,000 hectares are mostly in Gujarat and some of the brackish water areas of Andhra Pradesh, which are in southern part of Andhra Pradesh. And farmers around those areas, the brackish water areas, they're trying to convert into black tiger because they're not doing all that well with vannamei. And they're doing good with monodon. And economics of both the species, if you see, if a farmer is going for monodon and if he's getting hit with white spot, around 10-15 grammers, he's going to lose money. Whereas a vannamei farmer, even if he's coming with a crop of 10 grammers and 15 grams, he could make it break even or make some little profit. Whereas if the monodon farmer is taking it to the bigger sizes, each and every monodon farmer is targeting for bigger sizes, they make good profit. That's the reason why most of the farmers in brackish water areas in Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh are switching over to monodon. Year on year export figure, if you see, up till April, the numbers are out. It's, almost status quo. Whatever we have done during the last financial year, the quantity is same. Only decimal changes there. So first 4 months, the export was good. Means first 3 months, the production was good. So there is no change. And whether it is going to continue for the rest of the 8 months, we need to really kind of see. We would analyze a little bit in the subsequent slides. Market trends, if you see, we are no more the number one exporter to US. We lost that position in the last 5 months. When we were levied with a 50% reciprocal tariff, Ecuador penetrated into the market. They changed their processes very fast. They changed their infrastructure, and they've come up with peeled shrimp, and they penetrated into the American market. They're the number one today. And just yesterday, the Ecuadorian May figures were out. How much they produced, how much they've exported, some of you must be having an idea. I would like to hear from you. How much did they produce? How much did they export in the month of May, Ecuador? Just yesterday morning, the figures were out. Any guesses? The people who have already seen the LinkedIn post, probably you can avoid answering, but others could answer. Others could guess. What could be the quantity? Kandanji, what could be the quantity of Ecuador exports in the month of May, 1 month? Just wild guess. Wild guess. Any guesses, please? No. They've exported 165,000 tons, 165,000. This is a record-breaking number, highest ever in a single month, And they're penetrating into US market very strongly. There we lost our, penetration. And we've gone down by 29%. Year on year, if you see, we have gone down by 29% in US market, our major market. But we are making up for that in the other markets. China, we have gone up by 60%. European Union, we have gone up by 18%. Vietnam by 10%. We are trying to make up by increasing our penetration in the other markets. But is it going to help? US is the market that gives the price. We are making up to an extent, but we need to regain our penetration in US market. Unless and until we do it, it is difficult for India to sustain the growth especially. And one indicator for the mood of the industry is the broodstock imports. If you look at the history, last 20 years, there is a correlation between the imported broodstock number and the export figure. The higher the broodstock we import, the chances for exporting more is there. It is not a kind of a cut and dry indicator, but it happens. When we are not doing good as an industry, when the mood is not good, hatcheries are the ones who are going to sense it because they have to sell the seed. If they're not able to sell the seed, they're going to decrease the imports. So last 6 months, if you see, we are down by 17% or so. Year on year, every month we have gone down in the last 6 months. So that is going to have an impact on our exports from the month of May. May figures are also not out yet. We only have the figures up till April. Up till April, it's status quo. But going by the brute stock numbers, one can come with a kind of an inference that the last 8 months export figures could go down. May, we had a record-breaking export last year, close to 80,000 tons. So definitely May, we cannot match up to that number. We'll come to know in 10 days' time the numbers of May are going to be out. But subsequently, I doubt, because your brute stock numbers are down, and diseases are wreaking havoc, and the global prices are not all that good. Farm gate prices are not good. And feed prices are going up. All the input costs are going up. So definite uncertainty is there. The real story, we almost kind of discussed about it. Feed prices are going up, input costs remain high, shrimp prices remain under pressure, and early harvests are reducing the profitability. And this slide is one very important slide of my presentation. If you look at the average price realization of Ecuadorian farmers and Indian farmers, if you convert the export volume into the live weight, 7.92 metric tons what we have exported, it's not inclusive of domestic consumption. It becomes about 1.14 million. 70% yield have taken. And Ecuador, 1.3 million tons they've exported, 100% is export. And if you take a yield of about 80%, it comes to about 1.54 million tons, 90%. 90% is the yield, because almost 70% they export head on, 30% is peeled. It's changing by the year again. This year it could be much higher. So their average realization is coming to about 5.45, and our average realization is coming to about $4.9. Again, 50% tariff of some quantity is included in this. So it's not actual realization. Whereas they didn't have tariff at the time. Reciprocal tariff is very low for them. So, and the farm gate price of Ecuador, if you see, they're always low. Compared to India, any count, any point of time, the farm gate prices of Ecuador are low. But their average realization is high. What could be the reason? Farm gate prices are low. They didn't have tariff, but their average realization is high. What could be the reason? The size of the harvest is higher. We have converted everything into head-on, sir. We are taking live weight. So there is no question of head-on and headless here. We have converted into live weight and comparison, apple to apple comparison. The average size of the harvest is much higher than India. If you look at 10 years back, average size of harvest of India used to be much higher. We used to harvest larger sizes. And Ecuador shrimps were never growing to larger sizes those days. At best they used to go for 20 grams. Mostly 14, 15, 16 grams they used to harvest. But today it has been reversed. They're harvesting 30 grammers and above, and whereas India is harvesting 14, 15 grammers. That's the reason why average price realization is much higher for Ecuador, because of the average size of the harvest. Why Ecuador continues to thrive? We understand from this, they're able to take it to larger sizes. Their success rate is much higher than India. In India, many farmers are not able to make it break even. Some of them are making profits who are coming up with successful crops. Otherwise, they're losing or break even. Whereas in Ecuador, every crop is successful because they use tolerant stocks. The crop could overcome the disease. So they make profit or they break even. If they're hit with white spot, probably they end up with 50-60% survival, still they break even. If you're hit with white spot, we're going to lose money. The farmer is going to lose money. So that's one difference. And larger sizes we've already discussed. I mean, biology drives the economics, not just tonnage, you know. And success of shrimp farming is measured by kilograms and count size, not by kilograms alone, you know. That's where our problem is. We are not able to harvest larger sizes. The reason is we have host of diseases, and we are using SPF stock. We don't have tolerant stock. These are the two reasons, major reasons. These are the reasons of difference between India and Ecuador. The missing link, genetics and disease pressure. Higher disease pressure encourages early harvest. Ecuador uses most robust stocks. They're able to take it for bigger sizes. Different breeding goals have resulted distinctly different field performance. I mean, SPF stocks are not bad. I mean, due to SPF stocks, the industry grew to this level. I mean, before the SPF vannamei stocks, the size of the industry used to be about 1 million tons. Today, it has gone up to about 5.5 million to 6 million tons. And when SPF was introduced in Asia, there were not these many diseases. So we were successful. Now things have changed. Every Asian country is suffering because of the disease. Whereas South America, especially Ecuador, the dominant producer from South America, they have tolerant stocks, specific pathogen tolerant stocks, and they're able to overcome the disease, produce volume as well as volume with larger sizes. Measures that could help tolerant stocks, without any doubt, it could help India. And before we get tolerant stocks, getting tolerant stocks in India, it's easier said than done. All the SPF companies, they promise tolerant stocks, but none of the commercial SPF companies have real tolerance today, you know. So we can work on tolerant stocks. Before that, what do? I mean, we have to improve our pond and farm biosecurity, because SPF stocks works in tandem with biosecurity. So we need to improve our farm and pond biosecurity. And we can lower the stocking densities, thereby we can overcome the diseases to an extent, and we can go for larger sizes. If you don't go for larger sizes, we are only playing a zero-sum game. Nurseries could help. I mean, with nurseries, you can prolong the crops and target for the larger sizes, and you can go for 2 complete crops. Probably somebody is going for crop rotation, he can go for 1 large crop of tiger, and also 1 full crop of vannamei he can do by operating the nursery. He can play with the time. The farmer can play with the time. And area-specific crop breaks is also very important. We are going for continuous cropping, and we are not able to break the pathogen cycle. So if you go for a collective break in between the crops, it's going to help the farmers to come up with successful crop. Crop rotation already touched upon. Emerging challenges, we have this section 301 labor-related regulation. I mean, preliminary investigation has been done, and they have come up with proposed tariffs. It is 12% on India and 10% on Ecuador. They have prohibition for forced labor in Ecuador, so it's going to attract 10%, whereas India is going to attract 12%. But final determination has not happened. These are the proposed rates. If at all final determination stays at that level of 10-12%, again Ecuador is going to have advantage of 2%. They already have advantage of 5% with anti-dumping and countervailing duties. They're going to get another 2% advantage. So we're going to challenge that. Our government is challenging it and all that, I think. Hopefully, you know, they're not going to levy this tariff. I mean, they're slightly different from anti-dumping and CVD. Anti-dumping and CVD are on product, whereas this Section 301 is on a country. You know, it's more like reciprocal tariff. And traceability, of course, I mean, it's very, very important. US is coming up with a new regulation, FSMA 204, Food Safety Modernization Act 204. It was supposed to be enforced in 2026, but they've given 2 years' time. July 20th, 2028, it's going to be implemented. So our industry has to get ready. We have to come up with digital traceability. MPDA is working on it, CAA is working on it. probably some kind of certification like Sapahari, or which is started by MPDA, could help, because the certifications of marketplace, they're pretty expensive, small farmer cannot go for. And this particular regulation is about traceability. So probably a certification like Sapahari along with CAA and MPDA could make the industry ready for it by 2028. And competitiveness is beyond cost. You know, it's easy for Ecuadorians to come up with this traceability because they have huge farms, a farm with 1,000 hectares, 1,500 hectares, less number of farms. So traceability becomes easy for them, whereas traceability is little difficult for us. So we need to compete with that, means we have to come up with this traceability and other things. And it's not just about the cost, you know, we need to comply with the requirements of the market. Key takeaways: India has remained resilient despite unprecedented challenges. That is the beauty of India. I mean, despite all the challenges, we're able to maintain our volume. We have done 1.25 million tons. You know, we are pretty resilient. Our farmers are pretty resilient. That's our strength. We need to work on that strength, and try to kind of work on other weaknesses. Future competitiveness depends on improving farm profitability. Better genetics, healthier crops, and larger shrimp will determine the next phase of growth. We're able to produce volumes, but we're able to produce profitable shrimp. I conclude by saying India has proved it can produce more shrimp. The next challenge is producing more profitable shrimp. Thanks everybody, and thanks to the organizers, MPDA, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.